Hello and welcome to this video. I want to show you how to search for vulnerabilities manually. No matter the tools you use, sometimes you might want to do this manually to get desired and specific result. And since you'll be using this method more than any other tools we have covered, it is better I explain it so that you will understand. From the normal nmap scan, imagine if I perform the version scan for Metasploitable. So imagine performing just the version scan of our Metasploitable. So how do we know if these versions are vulnerable? All you need to do is just copy the version of the service that is running in an open port and go to Google and do a Google search. When you paste that version, you're gonna add exploit, and here is it. This module exploits a malicious backdoor that was added to VSF TPD download archive. This backdoor was introduced into the VSF TPD 2.3.4 archive. So you will see that we are already getting some response. This is the exact version our scan result has. So what we're going to do is to open any of this or a couple of them. This is a VSF TPD 2.3.4 backdoor command execution remote exploit for Unix platform. Here we can see that an exploit already exists. This is the date it was disclosed, and this was when it was created. So you can see that this was created 2018. So here is the author, and this is the platform with which it was created and architectures. Take a good look at this. Even the source code is also made public. Here it says you're about to visit an external site. We are not responsible for the content of the external site. Say continue, and can you see that? Programming language. So this is basically how to do it manually in case you don't want to use any script or code. And this is the GitHub page. This is how you go through the links and see if someone has the exploit to the version of whatever you are looking for. So let's take a look at another one here. You can check this out. Copy that. Paste it and add exploit. So we can open it and try to open some other one. And here we have the disclosed and the created date. The description: some default Linux installation of Postgre SQL, and here is the author, and the platform is Linux. We also have the source code. Let's check on this. Here it says platform Linux, date. This is the date. EDF for command execution. So we go back to our scan result. Let's check for one more. Apache Tomcat. Let's try this. So I paste this. So this is what you basically do if you don't want to use any tool and you're going to get desired outcome. Now sometimes you might have quite a number of information to go through like this, but AI can actually analyze this for you and tell you what you need to know, or you ask and AI will bring out something you are interested in. So this is the Apache Tomcat. This page lists all security vulnerabilities fixed in release versions of Apache Tomcat. And if you remember, this is the format which we use to identify, or which we use to represent vulnerabilities. So let's search for another one, such as Apache HTTP 2.2.8. Make sure you copy the version along as you are doing your search. So I come here and paste. So open a couple of these links to see what I can find. And look at what we have here. Apache HTTPD 2.2 is end of life since December 2027 and should not be used. This page only lists security issues that occurred before the end of life. Subsequent issues may affect 2.2 but will not be investigated or listed here. Users are advised to upgrade to the current supported release version to address known issues. So the major thing you have to watch out here is that when a version is vulnerable, a newer one will be released. So look at the same format here. So I believe by now you're getting used to this format. So let's check another place. Active exploitation of Apache HTTP server 2021. This one is quite recent. Here is the CVE vendor, and if you go through this, you'll be able to get one or two information about this version, affected versions, mitigation guidance. So never be scared to do this manually. If you're finding it difficult to do anything, you're going to ask AI to analyze the result. CVE 2029. Can read through. And this one has 10. You can see that others have 4.9. So this one that has 10, let's take a look at it. Modular arc this in Apache HTTP server 2.0.37 up to and including this version up to and including this, when running on Windows, does not ensure that request processing is complete before calling. So the version we're actually looking for is 2.2.8. So this lists all the vulnerabilities. The ones with a high score is the one that is referred to be strong. So if I click on this, I can read more about this vulnerability. This is the day it was published and updated. Vulnerable products, exploits. So you will have a lot of information at your disposal while using the manual method to discover vulnerabilities, even more than what using a tool can give to you. In most cases, it's good to notice the operating system. So here it says, when running on Windows, does not ensure that request processing is complete before calling this, which allows remote malicious users to execute arbitrary code via unspecified vectors related to a crafted request, a reset packet, or often callback pointers. So this is much we can find from this page. So as concerning this vulnerability, it is seen that this cannot work on our Metasploitable because Metasploitable runs on Linux. Another option we can use is using Searchsploit. So when we go to Searchsploit --help, Kali Linux has a database. So when you search for a version of any software on that Kali Linux database, it will try to find out exploits that will work for that version of software you are searching for. For example, Ctrl C. When you say Searchsploit, then you come to your versions and copy any of these. For example, you can copy this and paste it here and enter. It says unknown source specifier. Okay, let's try another one. So when I hit enter, they're already exploit for different versions of Unreal IRCD. So these are the exploits we have: the backdoor command execution metasploit, the local configuration stack overflow, the remote download execute, and the remote denial of service. Now on this side of the screen we have the path. So it shows Linux remote, this number, and RB, which means it was coded in Ruby. Then we have Windows dorks this, and Linux remote number and this. So we can go further by going to this part. And how can we do that? Let me show you how to do this. So we need to be interested in this Linux and this one. So this means this is the path and this is the file name. Let's try and locate this file. Since this is the file name, let's copy it and go and locate it. And how do we do that? We use and we paste the file name, we hit enter. So this is the path. So let's navigate to this path without the file name. So I'm going to use cd space, then copy from here to this and paste, enter. So we are right now in this directory. So let's ls and see the content. So we have a bunch of files here. So but what we can do is to locate the actual one, which is 16922, and here is 16922. So we're going to nano this to see the file. So nano 16922.rb. So this will open the exploit. As you can see, Unreal IRCD 3281 backdoor.rb. So these are some of the ways to perform your vulnerability analysis. Either use the Linux database, or you can use Google to find out. So the next tool we're going to talk about is Nexus. So if you want to know about Nexus, which is another huge tool like Nmap, try to watch the next video and you'll learn what you can do with Nexus. That's all for this video, and I'll see you on the next one.